Somehow you found your way here to me.
Ah, Kratos. And not a moment too soon.
The God of War series has clawed its way to the pantheon over the past decade to become one of Sony's marquee franchises. Its lead protagonist, Kratos, is easily one of the most recognizable faces in the PlayStation family, and he's gone on to make cameos in a plethora of games due to his popularity. The brutal nature of each game taps into our primal rage, and its breathtaking set pieces, inspired by the wonders of Greek mythology, never cease to amaze us.
Kratos, before you reach Athens, there is a task you must complete.
In the original game, Kratos is ordained by the ancient gods of Olympus to put a stop to Ares' merciless conquest. By faithfully completing the task ahead of him, Kratos hoped to purge the horrifying memory of slaying his own wife and daughter and find peace of mind. The ghost of Sparta destroyed everything and everyone in his path without hesitation or remorse, leaving an endless trail of blood and chaos in his wake. Though it appeared that nothing could stand against the might of Kratos, it's the subject of obliterating a certain pair of seemingly indestructible statues that piqued our interest. Apparently near the end of the game, if Kratos destroys 2 statues before finishing the game, a cryptic message appears. What's even better is that the message supposedly is a phone number that contains a pre-recorded message congratulating anyone clever enough to solve the mystery. In order to unlock the secret message, you'll first need to play through the entirety of God of War. Once you've slain Ares in the final battle, Athena will bring you to Mount Olympus to ascend to your new throne. Before doing so, you'll need to approach the 2 statues at the base of the stairs and attack them until they crumble. If you successfully destroy both statues, a message will flash on the screen containing a random bunch of numbers. Once the numbers are deciphered, they should create a phone number. If you call that number, you'll be greeted by the voice of Kratos.
Save me.
We decided to play through both the original PS2 version and the HD re-release. After slaughtering countless foes, we finally managed to come upon the throne room in question. There stood 2 giant statues at the base of the stairs as promised, and after hacking and slashing at them for a few minutes, they both crumbled at our feet. A black screen appeared with a bunch of numbers, which was then followed by another screen that said we'd uncovered a secret message. However, the message implied there was more to the mystery. After unscrambling the numbers, we realized it formed a phone number. We dialed the number, and to our surprise, we were greeted by none other than Kratos himself.
By the gods, you've done it.
After a few words, he was interrupted by another voice, one of the game's designers, David Jaffe.
Who are you?
It's me, David Jaffe. I directed the game.
The two exchanged a few words before Kratos grew tired of David's remarks and killed him.
You know, up close, you actually look kind of pasty, if you don't mind me saying. It's kind of gross.
Oh, like that's it!
Additionally, if you manage to destroy the statues on God mode, you get an entirely different number, which leads to a monologue from Kratos when dialed.
I have never seen such skill and strength as yours.
During our research, it became clear that many others had already figured this mystery out, so we wanted to go straight to the source to see what the real story was behind this elaborate setup. We were lucky enough to have David Jaffe stop by the offices here at GT, where he dished out the unabridged truth.
Well, a couple reasons that the Easter egg came about. I mean, I grew up with like the Activision games where when you got a high score, you sent away, you got a patch from Activision or you got a poster or whatever. And I never got any of those, but I saw them like in the video game magazines and stuff. And as we were kind of running out of things to give away that were sort of virtual goods, whether it was a new costume or behind the scenes video, we were up against the wall going, well, what can we give away that we can afford to make in time? And it was also kind of a thinking back to those days and going, God, that was so cool that you could actually be on the playground and see somebody with a patch from Laser Blast on their jacket and go, oh, you're awesome at Laser Blast. And so I was talking to Sony about that, and we just, at the time, you know, they didn't have the infrastructure as a Sony Computer Entertainment to sort of, you know, build that kind of like, okay, send in a card and show proof and we'll verify it, then we'll ship you a statue of Kratos from the warehouse. It was just too big of a thing too soon in the life of the company, it sounded like. And so this was sort of our attempt to give players something more tangible than just something in the game that sort of lived outside of the game. So that was the original impetus. And then the thing that followed up was just a remembrance of as a kid, there used to be things like dial a story that you used to like dial before you went to bed, and they'd tell you like a story, like 5 minutes and stuff. And I always thought that was really, really cool. And the idea of being able to hear Kratos on your phone, I don't know. I mean, probably, look, God of War was very obvious M. So anybody playing the game who should have been playing the game, sort of 18 or 17 and older, probably, you know, they're like, dude, this is for babies. I don't give a shit about Kratos on my phone. It's not the real Kratos, you know. But I think it was sort of that happy memory of childhood of, you know, hearing these characters on the phone with the desire to find our version of Activision's, you know, patch that you could send away for was really what gave rise to this. I wrote both of the Easter eggs. The one with me fighting Kratos, honestly, I figured by the time somebody finds this, it's going to be a year and a half post-launch. And so, you know, I'm not worried about messing with the brand, and it'll have been out there. Maybe there's a sequel that, which it was, would have been announced. And so I just figured let's have fun with it and be stupid. And if you're going to spend, I don't remember how many hit points we put on those statues you had to break, but if you're going to spend 15 minutes, maybe 25 minutes hitting the damn statue over and over and over, we wanted to give you something interesting that you didn't expect. And so it was like, hey, let's, you know, have one of the creators talk to the creation, and what would that be like? And, you know, it was just kind of a way to do something that was a little unexpected. I was on NeoGAF, and I remember seeing a post of it. I think it was NeoGAF, and it was like, what the fuck? How did you people find this already? You know, it's like, who, you know, I was just stunned. So I was a little kind of bummed because I wanted it to kind of have, you know, a new bump, a new life, you know, a year later. And then it was also kind of annoying because then everybody could just read the internet and go, oh, I'll just call it. It's like, but you didn't earn it, you know? And it's like, but that's the internet, right? I mean, there are no more Easter eggs. And when I was a kid, the first Easter egg I found was by hearing on the playground about how to get the adventure Easter egg of the programmer on the 2600, the Atari. But that was like, I had to like ask 3 kids on the playground. It's like, are you the one who knows about this? And finally I found the guy who had the magazine. And then it's like, I felt like I'd earned it. But now it's just like, you just, you know, go to your website or go to NeoGAF and type it in, and, you know, fuck you. You haven't earned it. That's not an Easter egg. That's a, I don't know what you guys gotta come, journalists have to coin a new phrase. It can't be Easter egg. It's gotta be like, you're a fucking baby, you should do the work yourself egg. That's what that is now, you know? So that was my response. But I was still happy because people seem to dig it. And you know what? It's still up. It's still up on the damn internet. I don't think Sony knows it's still up, and they're paying for a phone line, you know, so a couple phone lines. So I think that's pretty cool after all this time. I mean, Easter eggs really were the domain of one guy coding the game, maybe an artist, and they had the, you know, it didn't take them that long necessarily to kind of slip something in. Now you've got a huge games QA, huge money, a couple of different QA departments at a time going on it, legal ramifications, and so true Easter eggs. For all I know, Tim Moss, who is the lead programmer, you should get him over here, the lead programmer of God of War, he may have put fucking dancing girls in the back. I don't know what the hell he did, but in terms of, you know, that stuff's really well hidden if it's in there now. It's like Illuminati stuff at this point, you know.
I will show you what real power is.
We can only hope that Olympus holds more secrets that are waiting to be discovered, but it's hard to imagine any of them topping the hidden phone call with Kratos. Unfortunately, even a secret as elaborate as this one couldn't remain a mystery for long in the age of the internet, but we can only hope that it'll force developers to get more creative with future Easter eggs.
With a game like God of War, you've got millions of people. Mega Man 9's like, what, 8 people playing it? So, I mean, it's going to take a little time. Give them a couple years. Maybe they'll find. I'm kidding. I'm sure it's a great game. No, I love Capcom. I'm just teasing. I really do. Now I don't know how to get out of this. I've backed myself into a corner, which whatever facial expression I make is going to look like I love Capcom.
See this and other GT shows and game reviews on the GT Originals iOS app, available now on the App Store.